Sir, in NEP clause number 6.19 states that every stakeholder in a school, including teachers and principals, they need to be sensitized about all needs of children and promote inclusion, equity, your respect, dignity. So, how do you think CBSE is ensuring that this kind of mindset is adopted by all the schools?
Long back, we tried to conceptualize conducive environment in school, which again NEP agenda in a different manner. So when we are trying to create a conducive environment in school, that means without all stakeholder participation, you cannot create conducive environment.
Correct.
And once you are able to create a conducive environment, that means there is a respect for the peers, there would be respect for the senior, there would be respect for the any kind of students community. The identification is student.
Correct.
So no matters from what background or with what kind of challenges they are enrolling.
Correct.
So gradually it is evolving, and many schools became example to create such kind of environment.
Right.
And many are struggling. So those who are struggling, for them to follow those school already created some kind of conducive environment. Let those school also becomes a mentor school for the others.
Correct.
So school leaders, some of the school leader can take initiative to carry out their activities to other schools. And here from the side of the CBSE, we call it promoting hub of learning. So hub of learning in principle, one lead school and 4 or 5 member school.
Correct.
So that becomes a hub, and any good activities created by it is not the responsibility always by the lead school to carry out the activity.
Correct.
It is altogether 5 schools share their best practices, whether it is inclusive, whether it is sports, whether it is art integrations or promoting skilling.
Correct.
Or life skills, hosting a life skill event.
Correct.
So anything can do, and through that, I think best practices of all 5 schools are echoed to the 5 campus that no longer remains in one campus.
Correct. Correct. It's all about sharing what you are learning and sharing the best practices.
Yeah.
Correct.
And moreover, beyond that, there is one more things which you know, that is Sahodaya.
Correct.
So one is hub. Beyond that, the larger strata is in a city. About 30 to 40 schools, and somewhere in 80 to 90 schools are all together grouped. It becomes a big cluster. So they are naming also. They have a beautiful Sahodaya name,
right.
And they are doing lot of activities.
Correct.
In a year.
Right.
And through that also, there is a movement of empowerment. And which already happening. And through that only our affiliated schools are some way coming in the top ladder.
Yes, that's great. Let's move towards NEP implementation in a broader way. We talk about, one focus is on skill-based and other on the holistic development. And as CBSE has introduced around 34 skill-based modules, whether it's AI, tourism, beauty and wellness, and etc., which has been introduced. So how do you think that these skill-based modules have been adopted by the schools, and what has been the response of the students? Like one of the education report which I was going through, it said that might be it's an urgency to push skill-based learning in the schools to promote vocational training.
Okay.
Yeah, so that we can really keep the children ready as we are moving into a next genre of career aspect which are coming in. So how do you see this getting implemented and response of the students?
This is a very important issue for the country. If you see, one is demographic dividend, the utilizing the demographic dividend, and other way, human index. So altogether, NEP's primary focus was how a school pass out or drop out having a capability to withstand.
Yes.
And that too also at any situation, which initially I try to focus upon.
Correct.
And that's why they essentially prescribed that from grade 6 onwards, 6 to 10, grade 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10,
Correct.
there would be a compulsory vocational subject.
Right.
Now imagine a situation today in grade 9 and 10, there is a optional vocational education subject student can opt. So whatever 34 you have referred, these are all optional vocational subjects.
Right.
One can take, one may not take. It not comes under the compulsory component.
Right.
But now onwards, from grade 6 to grade 10, every children in the school are supposed to opt one compulsory vocational subject. So in that way, every year, if minimum 100 hours they study or do some kind of activity or projects, so 100 until they reach to grade 10th, they will undertake total 500 hours of skilling.
Correct.
So that means a grade 10th pass out will have 500 hours of skill.
Very good.
So that means उसको उस वक्त हुनर है कुछ भी करने के लिए.
You're right.
So now the choice is also made in a manner
Exactly.
so that it is not that hardcore skills are given at grade 6. It's an early exposure.
Early exposure.
They can do multiple projects at grade 6,
Correct.
grade 7, grade 8, and grade after that at grade 9, they are able to decide, okay, these are appealing skill which I can think of as a career.
Yes.
So उसका पैशन किस में है वो 6, 7, 8 में टेस्ट हो जाएगा.
Correct.
Or once passion is identified, then he or she can choose, or rather he will select,
Correct.
okay, this domain I want to work more.
Right.
Once after grade 10th, if they are going for higher studies, then they can further choose that, okay, this is the domain where I need to do some kind of specialization.
Yes.
So 500 plus again 200, so 700 hours of complete skill learning would be there with them.
Right.
And they can do anything. So that's a huge empowerment we are envisaging, and in coming 3 to 5 years, that would be a reality. And number 2, here, to carry out this activity, we need to have a skill lab in the school. So in terms of challenge, all school may not have this skill lab ready at this stage. So we are urging through you and also through our circular mechanism,
Right.
that every schools must have some composite skill lab.
I agree with you.
Okay?
Right.
And if certain domains are not covered in that composite skill lab, they are free to collaborate with neighborhood, garage, hotel,
Right.
or any sort of industry which they are aiming, that would be the potential area in coming 5 years or 10 years, and they can carry out some kind of activity or projects with them,
Right.
in collaborations.
Right.
And I think through that, essentially, the core infrastructure requirement can be adjusted, but some things should be there in school so that all hands on activity, skill हाथ गंदा ना करके skill नहीं होगा. Coding is I'm computer related, all skills can be done very good mode
जी.
without hand wash क्योंकि हाथ गंदा नहीं होगा तब.
जी.
तो but उसमें मजा नहीं होगा. उसको भी करना चाहिए because IT skill is also important. At the same time, certain core or domain skill which we can it can be part of our life skill journey also.
It should be. I mean, the way we are progressing, we require these life skills. सर एक चीज़ है, जब भी मेरी कॉन्वर्सेशन होती है स्कूल मैनेजमेंट या स्कूल लीडरशिप के साथ में, वो एक चीज़ आती है कि हमारे पास टाइम नहीं है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें हम कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, एंड वी डोंट हैव टाइम टू डू दिस एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज. तो आपको क्या लगता है कि इज दिस बिकम अ quite a challenging aspect?
I don't think so.
इसको implement कैसे करें? Subject भी पढ़ाना है, test भी लेने हैं, sports भी है.
Have you seen the NCF document? Students are supposed to take 3 language, R1, R2, R3. आज का तारीख में 2 लैंग्वेज के लिए जो समय हमने दे रखा है, it is somewhat around 210 periods each, which roughly आपका 160 to 170 hours का होता है. तो 160 आवर्स करके भी अगर हम देखेंगे 2 लैंग्वेज जो हम 9th में ऑफर करते हैं, दैट विल कंज्यूम roughly 320 hours.
320 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Under new education policy, 3 लैंग्वेज हम ऑफर कराएंगे. उसका करिकुलर लोड होगा 70 प्लस 70 प्लस 90 और 100. तो 140 रफली आप मान के चलो 250. तो 250 टू 300 आवर्स में हम 3 लैंग्वेज सिखाएंगे.
Correct.
तो दैट मीन्स करिकुलर लोड इज बैलेंस्ड. At the same time, the curricular load for the science, maths, social science, vocational education, मैंने अभी बोला 100, physical education, art education, all are roughly between 100 to 130 hours. So that means the periodic lesson load in the school is rationalized.
It's rationalized, correct.
Rationalized.
Right.
So that the component and coverage are more.
Correct.
हाँ. So that आपने holistic development का बात बोला.
Right.
तो in true sense holistic development सारे चीज करके होगा.
Correct.
सिर्फ एक चीज में फोकस हो गए. And that's why NCF is categorically telling that these are the compulsory subject, no optional subject. अभी जो स्थिति optional का है, those optional things would be cease to exist, because all 10 subjects in grade 9 would be compulsory.
Right.
So हर बच्चे को वो करना पड़ेगा.
Correct. Sir,
तो वो फिर excuse नहीं होगा, समय नहीं है, और nothing is extra curricular.
Right.
Everything are coming under the curricular domain.
I mean, if this gets executed, I'm 100% sure about it.
Yeah.
Children will be much more advanced because they have a hunger to learn. Sir, with this, one more thing comes up. Do we have qualified trainers to train these, skill modules?
It's a complex question, but I would appreciate our teachers are actually really capable teachers. Because from grade 6 to 8, if you like to offer tourism, and if we offer a short-term training to our social science teacher, they would be capable of teaching.
Yes.
If you want to offer the financial literacy related course, if you train your any TGT, they would be capable. For ICT and all, we already have computer and IT teachers. In certain domain, definitely you need trained professional.
Yes.
So उस questions को तो हम बोलेंगे answer yes, there is a challenge.
Right.
But there is a solution. भारत देश में जितना इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज है, पॉलिटेक्निक है, बैंक है, स्कूल अगर और उनका जहाँ पे वो लोग प्रोफेसर से लेके बैंक मैनेजर नौकरी करता है, उनका बच्चा कहाँ पढ़ता है? स्कूल में पढ़ता है. तो if principal wants any parents to give a special lecture on certain thing,
very nicely, right,
it is highly possible, because
absolutely,
as I am talking about 6, 7, 8, it is early exposure.
Correct.
It is not a big problem a child is going to hack or solve.
Correct.
We are exposing them so that their mental readiness एक ethical way में वो अपने आप को ट्यून कर सकते हैं.
Correct.
And उसके लिए आई थिंक कोलैबोरेटिव वे में अगर जार्नी स्कूल अपना स्क्रिप्ट खुद लिखेगा, तो किसी का जरूरत नहीं है.
बहुत अच्छी चीज आपने बताई है सर. इट्स ऑल अबाउट स्कूल शुड नो प्रोफाइलिंग ऑफ देयर ओन पेरेंट्स, एंड दे शुड नो हाउ टू इंटीग्रेट वेरी स्मार्टली.
Yes,
I think the problem is
moreover our center of excellence handled by our department of training,
right,
they are doing a lot of training,
right,
And moreover, beyond that also, there are other training, our professional institute like AICT affiliated college, and there are other flagship program, Niti Aayog-led Atal Incubation Center, Idea Lab by AICT. So a huge resources are there. Now it is school who should approach those resource center.
Yes, you're right.
To help.
Absolutely.
I think through that, I think we can absolutely promote
a great
skilling.
solution, because here most of the schools still get puzzle way that where should I go and get the resources. You've given a very smart answer, sir. So this leads to one more question in my mind. I always felt that our young generation is very smart. We should be getting a lot of patent. Absolutely, and we should be getting more of patent from from the schools.
Yeah.
But हमारे school से इतने patent नहीं निकल के आते. On उसी लाइन पे I was very happy to see कि एक बहुत बड़ा flagship initiative of CBSE has brought in School Innovation Council. Yeah, SIC, which CBSE claims that it is one of the novel initiative which fosters culture of ideation, innovation, entrepreneurship. And I was so happy to see this initiative being put out. And I think February circular says that 25,000 teachers were undergone the training as an Indian ambassador program. And 5,100 schools have enrolled for SIC. So what has been the success of, or any success stories, and how the student response has come out?
I think, of course, in terms of innovation, children are really smarter.
Yes.
And moreover, the facility what schools are giving these days, that is also really, we must appreciate.
Right.
And through this School Innovation Council, the 5,000 schools are already enrolled, and now to beyond that, I think more schools are enrolled, and all such schools are being exposed to the Institute of Higher Learning.
Okay.
Some kind of boot camp, both for the teachers and students,
right,
and annual competitions,
right,
and also the mentors are helping for patenting.
Right.
And there is a scheme called Kapila.
Right.
So under that scheme, if a student, a school student or college students goes for patenting, there are certain subsidies are there in the registration fee.
Okay.
And already some schools had filed patent.
Okay.
And not only with the old technology, including AI.
Wow.
So I think if you visit our CBSE IT office, there we have showcased the name of some students who have already filed patents from different part of the country, of course.
It's such a great feeling, when you hear the young generations are getting a culture of innovation and enterprising. And especially if school can foster that kind of habit among the children, I think we are transforming the whole nation. Wonderful, sir. Sir, now shifting to teacher development, I think CBSE has made mandatory CPD trainings of 50 hours, which includes 25 external training and 25 internal. The whole focus is towards the core values, subject knowledge, and professional development. So how do you see schools are adopting to this, 50 hours of training, and how much CBSE is playing a role in this?
First of all, it is mandated by new education policy that 50 hours of learning is mandatory for school leader and also for the teachers.
Right.
And even for us.
Okay.
And we take the training through iGot platform or some other mechanisms. बट स्कूल लीडर्स और स्कूल टीचर्स उनके लिए हमारा सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस का डोर खुला हुआ है एंड आवर ट्रेनिंग डिपार्टमेंट्स आर कंडक्टिंग मल्टीपल ट्रेनिंग एंड फ्रॉम द स्किल एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट साइड ऑल्सो मल्टीपल सब्जेक्ट स्पेसिफिक ट्रेनिंग एंड जेनरिक ट्रेनिंग्स वी आर कंडक्टिंग बियॉन्ड दैट if schools wants to, because 50 hours is a good number, which teachers and school leader are supposed to do. So recently we have in fact included under the capacity development program, if teachers are being relieved for paper checking. That is also, because this is also a new learning.
It's a new learning, correct?
New learning.
Yes.
So those activities also, different kind of activities of board or otherwise ministries activities where teachers are involved, that would be also considered as a part of 50 hours
50
CBP.
hours, correct.
So it is overall development, and also through you, I am trying to request all the teachers, because एक personal goal भी होना चाहिए teacher का.
जी,
Sometimes they struggle with the management, or sometimes with the other individual personal problems are also there.
correct,
Health issues are also there.
correct,
It's a challenge.
Correct.
Sometime, but it is not always it is challenge.
Yes.
So if you set a personal goal that in a year I have to complete 50 hours of training, and I have to categorically 3-4 area you can choose based on your lacuna, and also the future excellence you are envisaging within you.
right, right,
I think then you need to spell your requirement.
right,
You should not depend on other to spell your requirement.
yes,
And when you can define yourself,
correct,
I think within a span of 3 to 4 years,
right,
you can redefine yourself.
yes,
Then your teacher's role in a rural village may not be limited.
correct,
You can become a global teacher. In a daytime, you can be a full-time teacher. In evening, you can take a session for the international school. And that capability you can acquire only through capacity building program.
right,
And so 25 hours division, as you have mentioned, that has been categorically board proposes, because many times there is a certain overloading effect. Sometimes training is happening at one part of the country, the other members from the neighboring city or town are not able to join. So if within that area they find something else, some SCRT is conducting training, some university mathematics department is conducting special training on mathematics for school teacher,
Right.
they can attend.
correct,
Who stops them? But they have to first of all define their objective.
yes,
Every year,
right,
before start of the session, they will define. जैसे वो डायरी में हम ऑब्जेक्टिव लिखते हैं,
Correct,
तो
correct.
ऐसे उनको लिख लेना पड़ेगा
Right.
पहले सेशन शुरू से 1 महीना पहले.
जी,
हमको इस साल
Right.
ये बच्चों का साथ साथ हमको भी ये करना है.
yes,
तो 50 आवर्स चुटकी में होएगा.
exactly.
मतलब वो नवंबर से पहले ही खत्म हो जाएगा.
Because I had the same question next coming up with the same line only, but
Achha.
you have already answered this question,
So
you know,
then-
how to tackle this 50 hours.
Huh.
And your words are very inspiring. I must say that. But even I got inspired that I should also go with more 50 hours of training, because you already gave, a solution to me that how to be a global teacher.
Yeah.
And आपका एक और word था कि responsibility. If your responsibility of taken up as a teacher, then automatically you're gonna take it up and cover it up your 50 hours of CPD. Sir, one more thing is this year, CBSE has taken up a theme of STEM.
Yes.
Yes. So, do you think upcoming academic years also CBSE will come out with new such kind of themes?
हर साल हम लोग एक थीम में ट्रेनिंग कराते हैं. पिछले साल दूसरा थीम था, इस साल दूसरा है. नेक्स्ट ईयर बेस्ड ऑन द रिक्वायरमेंट, बिकॉज वी डू लॉट ऑफ टीचर्स कॉन्क्लेव, and through their feedback systems, teachers and principals feedback, we try to decide with the help of experts that okay, this year theme could be this. So STEM, because of the situations and upcoming agenda, because technological advancement and more focus on core science is also required. Science education.
Correct.
So that's why this year theme is categorically STEM, so that more empowerment activities can be there,
Right.
especially for the student.
Right.
Because thematic area largely depend on the many times on the result also.
Correct.
Because we try to analyze our result also.
Correct.
And there, if you look into NAS survey, and CBSE has started conducting SAFL, that is competency-based assessment for grade 3, 5, and 8. And similarly, National Achievement Survey conducted by NCRT in every 3 years.
Right.
So there, if those results are very much in the ministry's website. So these results are really alarming. And based on that, we felt that STEM area, we need to revisit, we need to reinvent, and we need to encourage the teachers to comprehend
Correct.
in a manner
Right.
which children understand.
Right.
And that's why the capacity building programs, specifically on STEM
STEM
is
has-
largely needed.
Correct. I think reasoning was very important for every teachers to also to know how did we arrive to the STEM. So let's move to a real life hurdles, what we are facing on ground. These initiatives looks very interesting, very bold, but from the school point of view, they might find certain constraints.
Okay.
From your perspective, translating these policies into practice, what are the biggest challenges are there?
It's a matter of showing interest. How school is attached with the children, how their curriculum transaction policy at present, and how they are comprehending the new policy is going to change the environment. So that visualization and first of all, interpretation is important, and interpretations too, how they are visualizing the future effect.
Yes.
That is also important.
Correct.
So I think challenge is many a times the interpretation problem.
Correct.
So if I am not able to read or interpret the things properly,
Correct.
then I may fail to visualize the future. So my request would be interpret in a proper spirit, not in a competitive mode.
Yes.
It is not that policy is, because policy, any policy is for good. But if there is any lacuna, anything which you feel harder in implementing, nobody has stopped you to innovate. अब बच्चों के लिए हम पैटर्न का बात कर रहे तो let the schools as a entity also come up with hardcore solutions जहाँ पे उसको लग रहा है
Correct.
ये पॉलिसी इंटरवेंशन किसी जगह पे प्रॉब्लम कर रहा है
Correct.
और वो ऑटोनोमस इंस्टीट्यूट है
Correct.
so they can come up with the solution rather than इसको मिसइंटरप्रेट ना करे.
Correct.
That is the request.
Correct.
तो पॉलिसी का कोर ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है फॉर गुड.
सर यहाँ पे आपने एक चीज बोली इंटरप्रिटेशन, राइट? इट शुड नॉट बी इंटरप्रेटेड इन अ रॉन्ग वे बट शुड टेक इट अप इन अ राइट मैनर. नाउ फ्रॉम द CBSE पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, हाउ डू यू थिंक CBSE कैन रियली मिटिगेट दिस गैप इन अ वेरी
हमको तो गैप देख नहीं रहा है.
ओके.
मिटिगेट का सवाल नहीं आ रहा है. अगर किसी फोरम में किसी जगह पे, बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ प्रिंसिपल वर्कशॉप्स वी होल्ड एंड दे आर दिस काइंड ऑफ ओपन फोरम डिस्कशंस आर देयर,
राइट?
and any questions they can ask to us related to implementation of
Right.
policy or implementation of theme, implementations of some new idea.
Right.
So many times we are taking idea from the school.
Right.
It is not all the times it is top down approach.
Correct.
It is the school who decide what way we should go.
Yes.
And CBSE in that matter is very flexible.
Very flexible.
Really flexible and student friendly, school friendly.
Right.
तो उस मामले में हम लोग स्कूल जैसे बोलता है ऐसे ही हम करते हैं.
Right. So thank you so much. I think it was in a great discussion with you. You had given so much of insight. As we wrap up, one last question to you. What would you like to give one key message to student, teachers, parents and principals who are listening to you?
देखिए मेरा इस टाइम वन वर्ड में ओनली 21st सेंचुरी स्किल एंड और उसमें भी आई मोस्टली रेस्पेक्ट ओनली वन वर्ड दैट इज कोलैबोरेशन एंड कोलैबोरेशन एंड फॉर कोलैबोरेशंस whoever it may be, whether any stakeholder, every stakeholder should act as a good catalyst.
Wow, I mean, very inspiring. I think that's a great way to end this discussion, this conversation. Dr. Saha, thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, and I'm sure with this conversation was very, very much inspiring for all of you. And I'm sure about it that you must have learned a lot of things which Dr. Saha has spoken about. So yeah, until next time, I'll sign out. Till then, be more curious, be more focused, and keep on exploring beyond books.